I am DK Sinha. This week, global markets continue to display a remarkable resilience. The major US indices moved higher. Several Asian markets delivered strong gains while Europe presented a mixed picture. The important question is this rally becoming a broader global participation story, or are we seeing selective strength in few markets? Let us first understand the global picture before we move to the charts for detailed price action analysis of S&P 500 and Nasdaq 100. Let's begin. Let us begin with the United States. The S&P 500 gained approximately 1.43% during the week. The Nasdaq 100 once again emerged as the stronger performer among the major US indices, advancing nearly 2.89%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average Index added around 0.89%. Meanwhile, the Russell 2000 Index, that represents the smaller companies, gained approximately 1.91%. Overall, buyers remained active and the market participation was reasonably healthy across different segments of the market. Now, why should we care about markets outside the US? Because stronger bull markets often become stronger when participation expands across different countries and regions. If only one market is rising while the rest of the world is struggling, the rally can become narrow and vulnerable. However, when investors are willing to take risks across multiple geographies, it often reflects improving confidence in economic activity, corporate earnings, and liquidity conditions. That is why every week we spend few minutes understanding what is happening worldwide. Let us move to Europe. The UK's FTSE 100 declined this week by about 0.54%. From technical perspective, the index is still finding support around important trendline structure and the EMA 21. Germany's DAX index, on other hand, advanced around 0.87%. The DAX continues to respect key moving averages and support zones and remains relatively stronger compared with many other European markets. So the Europe is showing a mixed picture rather than a synchronized trend. Now let us turn our attention to Asia. Japan's Nikkei 225 posted an impressive gain of approximately 4.72%. This indicates strong investor participation and improving risk appetite. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index fell around 1.65%. This reminds us that not all the markets move together, even during the period of global optimism. The standout performer was South Korea's KOSPI index. The index gained approximately 8.01% during the week and continued to show exceptional relative strength in 2026. So, while Europe appears mixed, Asia is showing significant divergence with some market displaying powerful momentum. Now let us examine market sentiments. The put-call ratio is currently around 0.59. A relative lower PCR often indicates stronger call buying compared to put buying. In simple words, traders appear to be positioning themselves more aggressively on bullish side. However, extreme optimism sentiment should always be monitored carefully because excessive optimism can sometimes increase the probability of short-term pullbacks. Let us also look at the volatility. The VIX remains an important fear gauge of the market. Generally speaking, lower volatility reflects investors' confidence, while rising volatility often signals uncertainty and risk aversion. Therefore, alongside the price action, monitoring volatility helps us understand whether the institutions are becoming more comfortable or more cautious. At this moment, sentiment appears constructive. But as a disciplined market participants, we always allow price action to confirm our view. Before we move to the charts for technical analysis, here is the today's quick quiz. Which index delivered the stronger gain in this week? Option A, S&P 500. Option B, Nasdaq 100. Write your answer in the comment section. Do not scroll down and check the answer of somebody else. Pause the video if required and submit your response. Now, let us move directly to the charts and examine technical structure of S&P 500 and Nasdaq 100. This is weekly price chart of S&P 500 index. Now, index finally closed this week at 7,580. There is a parabolic rise. Now, if I see the chart at a glance, what do I feel? That there is a lack of upside momentum. I foresee a correction. Whether it will happen or not, I cannot say. Nobody can predict the market. But if you see very closely, some of the things that basically the very small body candlestick pattern is being formed. What does it indicate? There is a lack of upside momentum. At the same time, there is a reducing volume week on week basis. At the same time, if I use the historical price action, if I just use the historical price action, what do I see? This was a very range breakout. And if I use the Fibonacci expansion tool by measuring the depth and projecting, it struggled at 61.8% expansion level. So it was the first level that it achieved and the correction has taken place. Now it is almost reaching to the 100% expansion level, which we had discussed very earlier, that 7,600 to 7,700 zone could be the potential target of this important breakout of this entire zone or a range breakout. So number one, the price is reaching to the 100% expansion level. Number two, it is showing a lack of momentum as discussed, and there is a reduction in the volume. Now let us look at the daily price chart. What do we see? Is this a decisive move? Multiple doji kind of formation or spinning top kind of formation. Price is too far off EMA 21 and EMA 55. Price is overextended already. So with the multiple gap, this last candle which has been formed during the last session of this week, what does it look like? It looks like a doji kind of formation with a gap up opening. Is this an exhaustion gap? Potentially yes, because there is a substantial rise in the volume and it has formed after multiple gaps. So if a correction or pullback takes place, what could be the potential immediate demand area? This is the immediate demand area where there is a confluence of EMA 21. So 7,375 to 7,432 is the immediate demand area. But if a deeper correction takes place, then it has never tested this important resistance area and there was a parabolic rise. So we can see some kind of testing of EMA 55 if a healthy correction has to take place. Now look at the momentum indicator. This is a higher highs. What do you see? It's a bearish divergence. So probability of pullback is certainly higher than market going further up before it makes a sizable correction. Now we are referring to Nasdaq 100 in weekly time frame. This index finally closed at 30,333 in this week. So this is how it was up by 2.89%. Here too, the more or less price is quite overextended. See, it was a gap up opening over here. And if I see this prior impulse and then this bullish flag breakout, and if I project by using the Fibonacci expansion tool, it is almost reaching to 61.8% expansion level. It has almost reached. So the price is here to overextended. Here we can see the reduction in the volume and the volume has been below average. But what is good about Nasdaq 100? This trend line was acting as a resistance. Price got rejected multiple times from this trend line. There was a breakout over here and then this two back-to-back spinning top got formed in this trend line. So potentially, as per technical analysis, this rising trend line should act as a dynamic support. Now let us look at the daily price chart. Multiple gaps here too. Again a doji kind of formation and a huge rise in the volume. So it looks like, technically speaking, it is looking like a exhaustion gap. So let us see whether the market starts correcting or giving some kind of pullback in coming week. However, seeing the structure over there and a confluence of EMA 21 and confluence of this rising trend line, that what we have discussed in the weekly chart comes at around 29,000, should be the good support for Nasdaq 100. Before you leave, here is your weekend homework. Open the Russell 2000 index chart in daily time frame. Then check EMA 21, EMA 55, current market price. Now ask yourself, if Russell 2000 experiences a pullback, can the EMA 21 to EMA 55 zone act as an immediate demand zone? Do not simply guess. Observe the chart, study the relationship between price and moving averages and historical price action, and then write your analysis in the comment section. Remember, the purpose of homework is not to be right every time. The purpose is to train your eyes to identify potential support and resistance zones independently. Thank you for watching. Looking forward to meet you in the next video.